Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honour to be called to give my maiden speech, and I'd like to start by thanking the Honourable Member for Colne Valley for his speech. He spoke about a spirit in his community that you could touch, and if I may say, it was obvious that you have a pride in your community that we could feel and we could almost touch as well. And you spoke about the selflessness of service to your community, which I think has been an echo in the excellent speeches given already today by the Honourable Members from Sheffield Central, Shrewsbury, Lagan Valley, Rochdale, Bridlington and the Wolds. It's my honour to speak in your company. Convention requires that I say a few words about my predecessor, and I've been advised that despite political differences, these should be complementary and civil. I've tried, but the best I can say is that the views of the last MP for Woodstock belong to a different time, which is quite understandable since Lord Randolph Churchill held it until the parliamentary borough of Woodstock was abolished in 1885. For over a century, Woodstock disappeared from the constituency names in this House. Meanwhile, the town of Bicester has never previously been named in a constituency. So Bicester and Woodstock is a fusion of 4 previous constituencies, and while I therefore have no immediate predecessor to refer to, I do want to thank Robert Coates, John Hull, Layla Moran and Victoria Prentice for their service to the communities in my constituency. Like any new member, I'm eager to learn from how others have done things. So I'm grateful to have such a diversity of approaches to draw on. I was fortunate, Madam Chair, to be called on to ask the Prime Minister a question in the first session of this Parliament. I spoke then about the River Evenlode, but I could equally have referred to the rivers Cherwell, Dawn, Glyme or Ray. Each cuts a path through my constituency, and each has to carry its unfair share of pollutants from Thames Water's sewage spills. Addressing the pollution of our rivers and waterways was a common concern among my constituents during the election campaign, and I welcome the Prime Minister's undertaking to work across parties to address this scandal. Alongside our waterways, the railways are significant features of my constituency. We have no fewer than 7 stations. So to address the subject of this afternoon's debate, at each you will find passengers keen to see improvements. The travellers through Bicester North bemoan the age of the rolling stock, which breaks down far too often, and the shortened trains with their inadequate seating. Constituents near Bicester Village are deeply concerned about the future closure of the London Road level crossing, which would cut off those living in South East Bicester from the rest of the town. And I hope the Rail Minister to whom I have written will respond positively to my request to ensure that East West Rail brings forward sufficient funding to provide alternative crossings for all users. Another feature of my constituency is the rapid proposed growth of towns and villages under plans adopted by the last government and supported by Conservative local councils in 2017. Bicester has already seen tremendous growth, and a similar scale of development is planned for Ensham and the wider Kidlington area, including Begbrook and Dianton. As this government prepares for an increase in housing provision, the lessons from areas like those in my constituency must be learned. My constituents understand the need for more homes for local residents, and especially for those who cannot access social housing. But they want to know that sufficient infrastructure will accompany new homes. Not just improvements to the hard engineering for travel, grid connections, sewage and other utilities, but also the social infrastructure of schools, GP surgeries, dispensing chemists, NHS dentists, as well as community youth and sports centres. We must make sure that these services are funded and delivered before new homes are released. I have lived in the constituency for over 12 years, and my wife and I have raised our 4 children there. They attend local schools and are active in local sports clubs. So long before I ran for this election, they ensured that I knew the future constituency well by dragging me to most of the sports grounds and sports halls that it contains. I owe my place to the many voters who put me here, but I would not be here without the steadfast support of my family, and I'm so pleased that they are here today. For some of them, it's come with encouragement, for others, with occasional embarrassment about my endeavours. But for all, it's come with love, affection, and a willingness to keep me well grounded through the occasional well-deserved put-down. I'm truly grateful to them, and I hope they know how much I appreciate their support. Madam Chair, my constituency contains a vibrant mix of communities beyond its 2 towns. Famously, Kidlington contends to be the largest village in England, with a population of over 13,000, when the parish council suggested that it was indeed a town in 1987, irate residents forced it to back down and reinstate village status. This does not, however, explain why groups of Chinese Harry Potter fans were spotted taking photos outside suburban homes in the village in 2016. Despite extensive searches, I never found the Dursleys of Privet Drive on the electoral roll. One of the greatest pleasures in representing this area is to travel across its stunning countryside and discover the passion for history, environment and community that burns in every town and village. I cannot do justice to that diversity today, but I want to say thank you to the thousands of my constituents who contribute to their communities as town and parish councillors, school governors, village fete organisers, wildlife champions, Royal British Legion fundraisers, youth sports coaches, food bank collectors and many other roles besides. Every week as I visit organisations in the constituency, I'm inspired by the selfless actions of those who put community first and build stronger relationships, one freely given hour at a time. It is that sense of community, of what we can do for each other, that brought me here today. From volunteering as a school governor, I came to see how both the setting and implementation of national policy had deep local impacts. I became a county councillor in 2021 and saw up close how local government has been hollowed out by national funding decisions that have not respected the role local authorities play in delivering critical services, nor the unique insights they hold at the local level about the needs of their residents. Those experiences put me on the path towards standing for election, and it is a huge honour now to be a member of this House. I hope that during my time here, I can serve my community with the same selflessness and energy shown by so many of my constituents.